disclaimer, my material, my personal narrative has death in it. So if you've not experienced death, which obvious, y'all are alive, or just unfamiliar with the concept of it, please go outside, kill a bug, mourn its death, come back here so that we can all be on the same page. But my personal narrative, my story, it begins at the end of my Poppop's life, which was also the event that symbolically ended my childhood. Though, did not know this at the time, all right? I was 10 years old. 10-year-olds don't know shit. Right? Too young, I was too naive. But what is naivety except for the ability to plunge into the darkness solely because you have no idea what light is? But I wasn't naive of my Poppop's fatal condition for long. You see, my parents, they were teachers. They had a very straightforward approach to teaching me things and letting me know. I remember in the coming up months before my Poppop's death, when we would go to visit him in the hospital, my parents would always be like, "Come on, Luke, we're going to go say hello to Poppop." And I'd be like, "Okay." And then I'd go and skip off to the car to go say hello to Poppop. But this time it was a little bit different. This time they were like, "Come on, Luke, we're going to go say goodbye to Poppop." I was like, "Wait, what?" "I'm saying goodbye to Poppop now." "Oh, okay." And I'd skip off into the car, into the darkness, to drive through the dark night. And I remember, looking out of the window, kind of like processing what was about to happen. Kind of like I was like a Disney character in like a movie at the first act. Like right before their parents died, they're like, "Oh, so sad." I was in that kind of mindset. But then I saw these like glowing golden arches out in the distance. And it wasn't the gates of heaven, no, but it was still holy ground I was staring at. We drove past a McDonald's. And it was pretty funny that we did this on my way to say goodbye to Poppop because McDonald's was a very special place in the relationship between me and him. See, whenever he'd pick me up from school or take care of me for the day, we'd go to McDonald's and he'd give me some French fries as like a treat, something special. And since my parents were teachers, and they were also in graduate school when I was a kid, my Poppop took care of me like all the time. So I went to McDonald's a bunch. So much so that the second word I ever said was French fries. That's what I thought the golden arches were. I pointed out all the time. French fries, hey look, French fries, get some French fries. Even at night, through the cries and the tears and the sniffles. French fries. We got to the hospital, and I knew it was time for me to grow up. So, once my family and we all got to the hospital, everyone and my mother's family was there. My family, my cousins, their parents, my mama was there, my Poppop was there, obviously. The Grim Reaper, he was hiding in the closet. And I also remember there was this super candid nurse who was in the room, and she had to explain the whole situation to us. Because when we first got there, we thought we were too late. And my sister, she started to freak out. The candid nurse was like, "No, your Poppop is not dead yet. He is just asleep. Vision is the first thing to go. But he can still hear you. So if you have any last words or anything you want to get off your chest or say to him, now would be the time. Because even though he is asleep, he is still dying." So all the grandkids gathered around my Poppop, and we were used to talking to him when he was napping. This guy loved to take naps. All right, he was resting in peace far before he rested. We all gathered around, and my oldest cousin Sam, he goes first, and he goes, "Poppop, I'm always going to miss the traditions we had together, especially the Sunday breakfasts that you make for us, and those Poppop pancakes." He had this personalized entree he'd make where it was a chocolate chip pancake with even more chocolate chips on it. So much so that when he served it to you, you'd wonder if there was any pancake batter in it at all. The Poppop pancake. And then my Sam was talking about that, and then his younger brother Tim goes up and goes, "Poppop, I'm also going to miss the food that you make with us, especially those maple syrup sausages. They were always good. I would have the best sugar rushes and the longest naps afterwards." He took after his grandfather. And then, my cousin Lucy goes up, but she's 2 years old, so she really just cries for like 2 minutes. And then my sister, she talks about in really great detail saying goodbye to Poppop and how much she'll miss him and getting food with him, especially the fancy fries. You see, my sister, she's kind of a diva. She didn't want just regular French fries. She wanted something a little bit more top shelf. And how do you get fancier than the French? You go west. So my Poppop will get her these Western cut fries from this gas station called Royal Farms. And even though my sister was literally eating gas station food, my Poppop made her feel like a princess. So my sister was done talking about that, and she was say goodbye to Poppop, and then I realized, oh fuck, my turn. I have to say goodbye to Poppop. But I'm still kind of hung up on the fact that my cousins are getting the way better portion, the way better end of the Poppop pantry pack, if you think about it. They're getting home-cooked meals and personalized entrees, while me and my sister are eating gas station food and McDonald's French fries. What the fuck? But then I realized, with some more thought, I overthought a lot as a 10-year-old, that was actually perfectly Poppop, if you think about it. This man personalized the ways that he'd spoil his grandkids, because based off of the family dynamics that they were all in. Because my cousins, their parents, their jobs require them to always be on the run, always be on the go. So my cousins were always used to eating at restaurants, eating takeout, always eating out and stuff. But my family, they were in the education system, so they were always in time for dinner. And my parents, they also loved cooking for me and my sister. Kind of their way to make up for like not seeing us all day. They're like, hey, here's a home cooked food, love us. Who are you? Where's Poppop? But my Poppop understood this, so he didn't want to take the limelight from my parents' cooking, so he took us out to restaurants to eat. And that was very special for me and my sister. And it reflected in our relationships with our Poppop, because we literally was telling this to him on his deathbed about how much we love to eat with him, which is very interesting. But I was thinking about all this shit, and I realized, oh fuck, I'm about to say goodbye to this very thoughtful dude, like this big dope-ass grandfather. He's very thoughtful. Most granddads are just a dick to their grandkids all around, But I was like, fuck. And I don't know, I was just overthinking. I was just like getting really fucking amped up, and I couldn't say anything that I wanted to because I was still a 10-year-old who had a speech impediment. So the only words that were really coming to my lips were French fries. I don't want to say that to my Poppop as the last things. And before I could really say anything, there was just this giant noise that filled up the room. It's my Poppop snoring. And all of a sudden, this anxiety-filled, traumatizing moment for me became a moment of laughter. Laughter from everyone. The grandkids were giggling. The parents cackled in shock. There's an audible laugh heard from the grim closet. My mom was like, classic Bill. And I swore I saw a smirk on my Poppop's face when he was snoring. We all cherished that one last happy moment with my Poppop. I was able to say my goodbyes. Grandkids left the room. My Poppop stopped plunging into the darkness, started walking into the light about 2 minutes later. And the last thing I remember that night was the candid nurse talking to my dad. She said, yeah, we took him off life support earlier this morning. That guy willed himself to stay alive all day just so that he could say goodbye to his grandkids. That's pretty badass. And it was. And then, me and my family, we went into the parking lot, went into the car, and continued our plunge into the darkness. But for some reason, I don't really know why, the night seemed a little bit lighter this time. And it's only been getting brighter every day, son.